to like 60 gold. What's going on, Tino?
What? I mean, he just wants to give them an advantage here.
A handicap, you know? kYxY, so they need the win. No, none of that. This is Malaysia versus Filipino Dota. You got some country pride in the line, as well as I mean, if Omega win this, I don't want to say it basically guarantees them that they're going to be you know, moving on to the upper division, but it has to be pretty damn close.
Yeah, because I mean, they're
3-0.
Their last couple of series can be are difficult. Signal and also Army Geniuses, and then they've got a series versus Lil Gun. So you've got to kind of think that the Lil Gun might be a victory, but at least if you're versing Signal and Army Geniuses, who are both second and third at the moment, so definitely gonna be a series to watch. But like you said, I mean, if you go 4-0, then and you got to keep in mind they'll probably beat Lil Gun. So even if they lose those other two series, 5-2, yeah, Omega looking. It's a good start for them, at least. I want to say as well, this is a dope coddle set. What the hell? When was this introduced? Why haven't I not seen this?
Let me have a look.
That's so awesome.
I'm a coddle connoisseur, so King of Thieves.
He's balling out right now. So many cool cosmetics, and they brought some decent ones out as well with that dye tide. It was a little unfortunate. There you go. I haven't seen it too often, but I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Also a fan of the start from Nikko, having a pretty good time at the moment here, up against the bid matchup. I wonder how Mac is still really going to be able to fare, because you can't really harass too much against the Ember because the Flame Guard, and once Nikko gets a lot more points in it, yeah, you see he can just stand his ground, and like even that full Rocket Barrage already doesn't really have
the capabilities to kill him just yet. You know, you've got an Arc Warden. You're always going to be able to reposition yourself. Bok is good enough of a player that he's not just going to let an easy death happen. I say that as they try and converge onto him.
It's the caster's curse. It didn't happen yet, but you know, it happens all too often when they just, you know, we say something good about them and then all of a sudden just it goes the complete opposite way. So a side lane TA, this is something that it's always felt like an issue with the Templar assassin, because even if you have a bad matchup, if you put him in the side lane, it really feels like she does not lane well at all. And you know, that was kind of the case when we were seeing TAs get countered pretty heavily with like the Razor in particular, but you kind of just had to stand your ground and go farm the jungle. So how do you feel that Tino's going to fare? It's maybe a little bit different because it's a different patch, or is it still kind of the same side lane TA pretty rough?
You need levels, straight up. Like, TA is a farming core, and you know, it's going to be really on Mac to get active here. I think he's been playing fantastically for Omega Esports, you know, creating a ton of space, getting a lot of kills, not giving up too many deaths. So I'm interested to see what he's able to do, but as we've seen, Nikko has been doing a good job in that mid lane to be able to counter out. Granted, it's still a pretty good lane matchup.
And it's nice as well because we see this combo pretty often, the Mirana and the Ember. Just the chains that got, you know, kind of the difference in it previously, that value point that you can have, just a 1.5 second stun is enough to set up for an arrow potentially. And you already see Destrice is mainly coming over just because of the power rune. He's also going to be able to get a stack as well, which is nice. But yeah, so Gyro's pretty squishy, and especially if they can land the chains into the arrow, then that's definitely a nice kill combo here that can come out.
Yeah, some decent movement speed, but it doesn't really matter when you're under the effect of those chains, of course. Pretty high armor though, so it's going to take a little bit to kill him, but a very subdued game. I think if you're Omega Esports, you'll be liking this, especially considering how Boomy is playing. You know, he's getting a lot of stacks off, he's making sure that he's being able to spam out these waves. Coddle basically turns into a position 3.5. He is not just a straight up support.
Well, they want to brawl right now. See the nice tombstone denied, but Bok still hasn't popped the swashbuckle just yet. That flux really bringing him down low. Boomy will at least still sit on the back and snag away the courier. They know they don't have any stuns, and with that high amount of movement speed that Boomy has, it's always going to make it difficult. You see though, like the teams making sure they kind of take an engagement right before the bounty, because even if they don't get a kill, as long as you bring them low as well, maybe there's a kill down bot.
Praying for luck, and he got it eventually. 343.
343 is out of mana now, so yeah, he's in trouble. And they'll miss out on the blast.
It's moving scarily close towards that. Oh, they're gonna get him. Yes.
Nice.
And that Spark Wraith nearly ended up getting him. He was hungry for that kill.
What is your kind of read on this game? Do you think, because it feels like kYxY Racer want to play pretty slow just for the Arc Warden, and for, it looks like from a Mega, like when you have someone like a Templar Assassin as your position, well, I guess 2 position 1, whatever you want to say, you kind of have like this 17-minute window where you don't really do much. You want that blink Destro and then you want to make plays. So do you think this early game is going to be pretty slow up to kind of the Night Stalker and the Ember to make the plays?
I think so, and well, Ember has made the play, immediately gets the Invis rune, TP straight towards the top lane after shoving it in. Means that he's given up this double damage rune though, so Mac's going to be very happy to claim that one for himself.
Denied!
That's denied.
Just the mind games that come with it all.
Radiant's middle
You gotta be, like, Gyro has to go back to lane eventually to secure these creeps. So I think 343 probably could have waited the extra couple seconds.
Radiant structures are fortified.
But yeah, this is a lot of pressure. Double damage, she's creep. Nicely done to be able to arrow that one out though by Destrice. Previously CML in lane, he was doing a good job of throwing his big body in the way to make sure that all the range creeps are being caught out. 343, he's gonna suffer.
It's a lot of damage. She still gets a tombstone off and wastes a little bit of time here, so Mac's gonna get punished. And now Destrice wants to jump on forward for more. They even got the rotation from kYxY, which is gonna net them a second kill in the mid lane. So even though 343 ended up falling, at least it took a decent amount of time for kYxY Racer to bring the numbers, and well, it was a big kill finding that Gyrocopter.
Yeah, for sure. Destrice even gets a little bit of regen as Nikko comes back into the fight, and that's what you need to do as an Undying. You need to realize that you are pretty damn tanky, especially against these heroes that need to be right in on top of you to do any damage whatsoever.
Still kill for AlaCrity. He's getting relatively close to that Midas as well. It's been a very good start for him throughout the laning stage so far, and a good start for kYxY Racer. We see kind of the stand-in on Nikko, and he's having a great team. Top of the net worth, and excited to see how the plays are going to continue to fare for him, because they are definitely lacking some form of control to deal with him. So just the constant pressure that the Ember can have, and you see they've even got a couple of stacks at the moment. Destrice might be able to make another one. Yeah, it looks like he will.
And they've even got, like I was mentioning before with this Coddle, look at all these stacks that are coming up here. It's clear that A, you either want to give him to Boomy so he gets a really fast Will-O-Wisp and becomes a lot more effective in these team fights. You know, Will-O-Wisp plus Cooldown and Rolling Thunder, insane utility. But I think it's much more important to give it to Tino, considering, you know, like I mentioned before, farming core, it's a thing, and his stacks are going to be found alongside himself.
Yeah, this is kind of the issue now with the TA, is that the Ember can definitely make these plays at this stage in the game, whereas the Templar Assassin wants to be the one sitting back, and you know, you have so many ways to burn all that refraction, and you see there's just nothing you can really do it. And Nikko with that ward, I mean, they're stalking their prey right, but not at all. AlaCrity is just punishing Boomy for sitting down bot.
Going to be able to secure the Tempest double for himself though, so that's another 180 gold going his way. He's very happy about that. Honestly, I don't think that can be put on Mac, that you know, the plays weren't happening just yet. It was just a really nice smoke, and look at the great deep vision as well. Not just that high ground ward, but right underneath the tier 2 tower. It means that they know exactly where this TA is going to be at every single stage of the game. Not going to be able to scout out the fact that he's taking it right now though, so perhaps being a little bit too passive, especially considering it is nighttime and you want to be making absolute most use out of kYxY's Night Stalkeriness.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they want to try and smoke up down bot though. I mean, we've got the bounties coming through, the Night Stalker's got that Dark Ascension as well. At least be looking to make a play by this next kind of 10-minute interval, and that ward by the tier 1 tower just scouts out. Nicely played. And speaking about the chains into the arrow, just a nice little another pick off there for the boys.
Yeah, and I feel like this is how you're going to get the most done as a Mirana. You know, you need to be getting kills with a guaranteed setup. You can't just pick a Mirana first into every single game and just assume that it's going to do its job. They're going to be jumping in onto Tino again. He doesn't even have a point in the meld. He feels like it's pretty much useless considering all the detection they're probably going to have, but I mean, he's wrong. They didn't have any detection for him. He's going to be able to get away, though.
kYxY, let's see if he can fly away, though. It looks like the stun for the missile going to lock him in. Box even got the follow-up as well, so he has to pop the Rolling Thunder for that, but unfortunately means they won't be able to contest the bottom bounties here, so Dai will get away with that.
And that wasn't with any, too heavy commitments with the ultimates. Like, sure, Rolling Thunder, but it's such a short cooldown that you're not really all that concerned about it. No Tombstone means on kYxY, so they're not too concerned as well, but yeah, they're not going to be able to take full advantage of the fact that they had this siege creep pushing into the tower. They pop the Dark Ascension. That's the much bigger deal. Max getting gone on again.
He's in trouble here on the Gyro. A couple of rotations coming through for them. 3-4-3 is going to be able to drop the Tombstone as well. Up on the higher ground, Nikko's A-OK without the stun, so he's even just going to TP out in the face and try and rejoin the fight with a quick Remnant here, but Mac still able to keep his life. Even AlaCrity's actually showing up as well, but Destrice is in trouble. That missile allows Bot to still follow up there with the maxed out homing missile. To see this stun duration, 3 seconds, it's a lot of damage as well, and it's another good fight from Omega here. And now they're even going to try and net this into another tier 1 tower where we see Tino showing up, and well, this is what looks like the deaths are completed, so TA has been farming up quite a storm here.
Doing exactly what they need to be able to create some space for her. Oh, here we go, they're popping all the big ultimates.
A nice wrap through as well. Boomy brings back the Gyro, so he's full HP, full mana. 3-4-3 is going to pay the price here. At least the Ember's going to be able to get away, but they're still stalking their prey. Nikko got one more Remnant to be able to utilize. He does not have a TP, which is the big issue right now. Still trying to hunt him. Might even be able to get a kill on Bok. Unfortunately, the lucky shot's going to
Tino standing right underneath
minimize that.
Oh,
Tino is going to get the trap slow now with the arrow. He's alright. They saw flying through with that ward up by the triangle, but still, even then, Omega, they've done a very good job to be able to secure a net worth lead now in this game 1, and also get some very important towers. That's another thing.
For sure. I think with that attempted kill before onto to Mac in the mid lane, it would have probably gone their way, but 3-4-3 joined it a little bit too late. It felt like the Tombstone was kind of an afterthought that came through, which meant he was able to be cleaned up really quickly. Just more free gold being pumped into their coffers, so it's just something gone begging, and making a decision even 2 seconds too late can be such a big difference maker when it's this level of Dota happening.
What's your opinion on the Gyrocopter build, going for the hood and the 4-staff? We've kind of been seeing this new difference in the Gyro. Are you a fan of it?
I think it's okay. I think you just really need to be able to have some kind of defensive capabilities without going too early of a BKB. You need it for the, probably your 4th item or so. He's getting recalled though, so it seems like they're pretty keen to make some stuff happen. Might just be farming though. 3-4-3.
Trying to wait for 3-4-3 to run up, but just that little bit of tree helping out with the fog, and Undying, if he was sticking where he was previously, would have been okay. And they're continuing forward. Boomy's got another TP and CML, kYxY. He does have the ultimate, so he might be forced to pop it, but they've even got the blinding light to push him back to the Ogre. CML closes the distance. Another missile is going to be able to follow up as well with the Night Stalker. Will end up dropping here. The price to pay from staying a little bit too long.
So yeah, that'll be the 4-staff completed for the Gyrocopter as well. Do you go into the Hurricane Pike? It kind of feels like a bit of a luxury item, to be perfectly honest. I think he just needs damage right now. You've got the TA that's going to be able to deal a lot of that, but at the end of the day, you are a core. You need to be able to be self-sufficient in a team fight.
Well, now Omega are going to be able to hit a very big timing here in the next couple of minutes. Once they get this Blink Death Oath, they're going to be able to take, a pick off into Roche, and then with that, we're just going to see them continuously putting pressure on the map, and then it's really going to limit the space that the Arc Warden has. I mean, you see AlaCrity has been farming nicely.
Let's go.
kYxY, they want to try and take the breakout here, Nikko. Gonna be careful. He actually gets clipped out with the blade melt. At least gonna force him to stop right-clicking the Ember, but he still takes an immense amount of damage. CML will drop here, but Ember's in trouble. He's got a Remnant to be able to utilize. Hasn't disengaged just yet. Mac on the front line, so tanky, so survivable with these items so far. They've got the catch, however, on top of AlaCrity, so they know where the real one is. Do they want to dive underneath the tower? It's a little bit too far from them, and yeah, he'll pay the price. Without the force up on the hood available, he already used that previously, so just a drawn-out fight there from the Gyro, not working in his favor.
Yeah, and that extra damage coming through from the Flesh Golem means that he goes down before the Pango is able to save, so some much better ability coordination coming through from kYxY that time around. Even just the Tombstone dropped right at the start of the fight in a pretty safe space to the right of the staircase there, right on top of where this observer ward is. Yeah, I feel like that force stuff is going to pay dividends for him. He needs to be able to, like I mentioned before, get out of the Searing Chains arrow combo. He needs to be able to get out of the crippling fear, even if it's just for a split second, you know, to be able to do anything that's going to deter a constant chase coming in onto him. Cooldown, you know, it's got a much longer cooldown now, so it hurts a little bit to pop it just as potentially an escape mechanism, but I feel like if you're getting chased as hard as kYxY have been focusing on Mac, it's kind of a necessity. Doing a good job
even got
on some of these
the
stacks though.
Radiant do see this though with that ward. It's a nice little spot for the position. They're converging on this fight, but they've always got this +1 effect thanks to the Codolith is inside the area. Now Bok, yeah, coming with the reinforcements. Tino's going to be able to blink on forward. Nikko protected with the Flame Guard, so it's going to stop all the extra magical damage, but they're still getting on top of the back. The wrap from Mac is going to enable that. Now it looks like 343 is in trouble as well. They'll find 2 here, and that's right underneath the tier 2 tower, so Mega going to be able to link that up with an objective.
Nicely done. What's Codol got coming out to him? So he's got a 4-staff as well. It seems like 4-staff gaming is the name of the play. I get it. You know, it might feel really nice to go for the Aghanim Scepter, but I mentioned before, it's just such a value item.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Alright, 17-minute mark. What are we going on here? Might have overstayed their welcome a little bit here. If they can get Tino, this would be a huge kill, but that refraction just enables him to get the blink off.
Yeah, the force as well from the Gyro. He used it defensively on top of his teammate there, so it just allows TA for the refraction not to get burnt. Once again, Boomy's already got his force picked up, so CML is able to get away. Look at these, just the mobility they have coming through with the defensive items makes it very difficult, and Radiant, they're also lacking kind of the stuns as well, so very nicely done with them with this itemization. And it's getting to the stage where even though it's a 2,000 net worth lead, yes, AlaCrity's been farming very nicely, but the Arc Warden isn't at a stage where he feels overly confident to be fighting. And I'm worried that if Omega, you know, through this next daytime, I think if they can smoke, get a pick off, and then go into Roche, maybe if they get a pick off now before it's even daytime and get that Aegis, then it's really just going to further enable them to be able to find all these outer towers and then limit the farm that kYxY have, because then you're going to have to put all your net worth on top of your Gyro, and it means that the Nikko's going to fall off, then the Night Stalker's going to fall off as well.
You spoke about Roche, that's the objective #1 that Omega have highlighted, but you know, they've still got a few minutes of night time, so they want to make sure they can take full advantage of it here on kYxY. Forces them to back off, but it's a smoke being pushed into them. Max under the Invis runes, so he's going to be revealed first.
They struggle to start, that's the issue. Yes, you can put Mac on the front line, but no real way to blink stun to initiate without the blink right now on Box. So you see Mac already having to use that 4-staff on CML. They weren't able to D-ward up on the high gun as they walked up, so Radiant still have this area under control. At least Tino got some traps set up.
It's a game of chicken right now.
Who commits too far? Who runs down to a choke point?
Like, it's all about right now just avoiding this Night Stalker. They've even given the bullwhip over to the Gyrocopter just for that little bit of extra movement speed. Obviously realizing the strengths of the draft. 40 seconds left of nighttime, and you've got the Dark Ascension on top of that. So you talk about these drawn-out team fights. If he's able to get it right at the perfect spot, probably around this this bounty rune timing, to be perfectly honest, is when they're going to try and make something happen here on kYxY. I'm a little surprised though that they didn't attempt a take on the tier 1 top tower if you're on Omega Esports side. Yes, you're against an Arc Warden, but he's not really going to care all that much about a tier 1 tower. It doesn't result in anything major Well, they're gonna get people running into each other. Boomy's in a little bit of trouble. How many more stuff they got?
He needs to be able to send back the Gyro here. It looks like Gyro's actually just going to have to force a TP. There we go. Finally brought in thanks to the Coddle. And now kYxY is actually going to have to retreat away. Block with that Rolling Thunder trying to disrupt the backline here. But 343's already been able to drop the Tombstone. They've done a very good job of being able to deal with that. And looks like there's no real follow-up at the moment for Nikko. So he's actually going to have to disengage. Tino assassinates the Undying on top of the backline. But you see the lack of stuns. They're still jumping forward for more though. Nikko, he doesn't have any remnants available though. Still they'll turn arrow clips on top of the Templar assassin. Now they're still in trouble as a Mega, even with the lack of stuns, they just move so incredibly fast. They close the distance on the Ember, get 3 kills, and that should be into Roche.
It should definitely. Even the aggressive 4-star forward by Boomy, make sure that he catches him with that Solar Bind. A really good item when you've got heroes like the Gyrocopter on your side, just for the magic damage increase with the magic resistance reduction there. Especially the Night Stalker as well, you know, the slow per 100 units, he's heavily reliant on that mobility, but if you just take that away from him and make it work against him, you're laughing.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And now how do you contest this if you're Radiant? I mean, you don't have Dark Ascension for this daytime fight, and it just seems pretty free from Dire. It's going to mean, I imagine we see them wait a little bit, allow Tino to get the BKB. You know, Gyro is going to be pretty close to that next set of items as well. He's going for the E-Blade, so you think maybe farming for a minute or 2 here, and then we'll see some of the lanes start to get shoved out.
Tower is under attack.
They're actually smoking up, so they're not even having any time at the moment. I'm gonna try and find a pick off. I do see Destrice on top of the mid wave here. It's gonna be a little bit difficult. Maybe they can burst him down with the Tino jump. He's got some leap charges.
However, him down.
Pretty well. He's got nowhere to go now. He hasn't TP'd yet, so he's ultra dead.
His only chance really there, assuming they you know, had the dust, was just to run into the trees and hope that he was able to juke him out. But with it being daytime, obviously much less of that potential to happen. Just more recalls happening with this Coddle. Why not? They're just going for kill on kill on kill. You've got the Eagle Song now on Mac. They might think, oh, okay, he's going into the Butterfly. But if you're a fan of any Oz Dota streamers, this is the King of the Gorgonites magic Gyrocopter that we've got coming out here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
See that net worth disparison really starting to come through from Galaxy Racer, where it's all in on the Arc Warden. And well, do you think this game AlaCrity is going to be able to do it for them?
For me, it's all just going to come down to these team fights around the high ground, right? If they're able to get a couple of pickoffs beforehand, if they don't have buyback saved, you're screwed, because an Arc Warden, yes, you're very strong at defending pretty self-sufficiently, but you do need the backup. They do have the capabilities to just jump in onto the back lines and deal with you that way.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
He's got the Gleep finished up though. Lots of burst damage, lots of lockdown. I like it, especially against the likes of these very fast heroes that we've been seeing. The Keeper of the Light, the Gyrocopter, even Pangolier if you're able to catch him before the Rolling Thunder goes off. But even then, he's got the Yule Scepter available.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Yeah, we've
attack.
even seen what these positioning-based items have been able to help out with the Force. So it feels like the Gleipnir is at least going to stop kind of the onslaught when they're getting aggressive, but to help out with kind of the lockdown for the catch, it's going to get dealt with pretty easily with the Force and the Ewers as well, like you highlighted. Well, there we go. Tino, BKB, Gyro's been able to pick up the Ethereal Blade, and they're just going from lane to lane, tower to tower. Tier 2 bot and mid's being claimed, and they want the remaining one up top now. Destrice, unfortunate. Tried to TP this time, but Bot was able to close the distance and find exactly where he was. So I guess if the Mirana is the only one to die there, you'd feel okay considering the rest of the team are able to get out, and she's only dead for 30 seconds.
I feel like she kind of came to help the Ember Spirit out anyway, and he didn't really need it, so it's a little bit of an unfortunate death coming through there. But yeah, I think this BKB absolutely needs to be finished up by Nikko before Smart Omega are in a position to be able to push forward into the high ground. And I mean, they've only got a minute and a half left on their Aegis. They'll want to be making a play right about now.
Man, they are just continuously running at kYxY, so there's nowhere to hide. You see the advantage that they have, you know, the traps vision, the constant threat. They've had some very good information coming through from their deep wards, and kYxY is just going from bot to top, and just constantly being this nuisance with the TP effect as well. I love how they're utilizing Boomy's hero.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the use of the Solar Bind. I feel like the real thing that's brought Keeper of the Light back into the meta is that relocate. You know, it's only on a 15-second cooldown, which is insane, to be perfectly honest. Like, sure, you can't use it pre-ultimate, but still, it's so impactful. And, I mean, you can see how effective that factor of a hero is when a hero like Chen is basically unpickable anymore because he just doesn't have that ability.
Oh, TA got the Aghanim shard. Interesting.
Yeah. Silence, always good. You know, being able to catch out something like an Ember Spirit pre-BKB. He should be able to secure this wave though, and that should get him very, very close towards finishing it up, only 100 gold away. But speaking of Ag shards, you've also got, did he go for something first? Yeah, on the Gyrocopter, he went for the Boots of Travel first, but he's gone that Ag shard afterwards. It's going to be pretty nice. I mean, even if you do pop that BKB on a lot of these cores, as long as you're in the middle of a team fight, someone else is getting hit. So even though it might not be your priority target, it's some good overall damage increase.
Great positioning from Mac as well. He's going to be able to pop the smoke here. And once again, they got a really nice lane ward. So Omega feel kind of comfortable with being able to take this fight in the area, but it looks like Radiant still want to go. Actually going to jump the backline. Tino deals with the Tempest double instantly. kYxY wants to cancel out the kYxY effect here, but kYxY, he's protected thanks to the Aether Blade coming through from the Gyrocopter. It's still Boomy without the Force Staff. Nikko and the Night Stalker's going to be able to deal with you, but it looks like Bok now up the high ground. They go with the Rolling Thunder, going to try and close the distance on the Ember, but unfortunately, without a stun to set up, Bok's going to try and go for the Rolling Thunder. TP out, he'll make it, but will the rest of Omega? Yeah, they're pretty speedy. They're okay.
Yeah, just wanting to make that last play around their Aegis timing, but yeah, that's a BKB revealed on a few of these heroes, and kYxY, importantly, he's the one that really needs to have it picked up on himself. I think it was a small misplay coming through from Boomy there, not using the Solar Bind as he was trying to chase him down, but yeah, it happens. In the middle of a team fight at night time, he's got the movement speed for it.
Oh, they're going to be careful. Tino no BKB is actually in trouble here. The chain sets up for the arrow. Even though Mac's going to be able to deal with the Mirana on the backline, they get a massive kill, finding the TA at the weakest stage without the BKB there.
Big kill. I mean, this is what we need. We were talking before. It's like when they try and start to move in onto this high ground area, that's what's going to be able to punish them. You know, the lack of vision, the obviously inherent strengths of having an Arc Warden on your side, and it's nighttime. So, yeah, thinking maybe they were wanting to go a little bit too aggressively, thinking, well, they don't have BKBs just yet. Now's our perfect time to be able to try and make something happen, especially with this magic gyro. And a Tempest double again. He got the Midas off though. He's fine with it.
Quiet's magic.
Once Arc Warden, yeah, just picked up the BKB. So with all the kind of abilities that Omega can shock down and forcibly remove him from that bubble with the cooldown, you know, the Will-O-Wisp is almost picked up here. You got the ultimate as well from the Pangolier. At least that BKB is going to allow AlaCrity to stand his ground for a couple extra seconds, but at least we've also seen the BKB from Nikko have a pretty big impact, just allowing him to be able to play more aggressive. And that's exactly what you want when you're in an Arc Warden lineup. You need to kind of curate the space and then allow AlaCrity just to go to work. Yeah,
for sure. And Nikko, he's finally finished up, sorry, the kYxY has finished up his BKB. They're really enabled though on Smart Omega's side with the positioning of these Observe wards. You know, a little unorthodox one in the top side as well as bottom, right around the same area where the tier 2 towers used to be. I mean, can't think of the last time I de-warded in this kind of area.
Nikko is alright.
He was hit by the dust, but as long as he doesn't reveal himself, he should be just fine.
They're doing a very good job of hunting this Tempest double, and this is also just the constant movement that we're seeing from Omega from lane to lane. It looks like AlaCrity's double will just scurry away, but oh, maybe Bok? No, a little bit too late. But look, I mean, they forced them top, and now they're wrapping mid. Destrice, the trap with the silence here, and Mac just able to stand his ground with the Rocket Barrage. Seeing this Aghanim shard, oh, that's a big choreo.
Big. Is he going to be able to get the Ag shot as well? That would be huge. I think you're pretty happy with just taking away the Will-O-Wisp. Well, that's gonna... I mean, it's a bit of a blessing and a curse. You know, it means that they're not going to get too aggressive, but Roche is going to be up in a minute 45. You've got about 30 seconds where your courier is still going to be on the sidelines there. Caught out here. It's 3-4-3. Pops the tombstone.
Mac, he's very far away from the rest of the team. He's got to be careful here. He's going to pop the shroud, but it's not enough. The magic damage, they still go through him. And once again, you see a Mega pushing it a little bit too far with the help of the rest of the team, and now they're going to have to disengage. kYxY Racer, what more can they get? Hunting through Dark Ascension, use about half the duration here. They don't have any vision up on the high ground, so they do have to be careful how far they want to push their advantage. Another Tempest double is going to get fed over as well.
Feeling very confident now that they are actually grouped together on Omega Esports side. Boomy nowhere near that fight. Mac just diving in on his own, and you know, I could maybe understand if he had a BKB or something else that's just going to enable his high movement so much. Man, he's even picked up that ceremonial robe. He's going all in on this magic with very little regard for his own safety.
That extra direction, we already see how much damage he can dish out at the moment. Do you feel like this magic damage gyro though, if this does go ultra late where kYxY wanting to go for the Arc Warden, do we feel that the gyro might start to fall off a little bit with this build?
Not necessarily, right? Like, I feel like now is around the time that it does start to fall off when you've got those high duration BKBs. But when they get a lot lower again, you're gonna have a lot better time. Like you can see, he's just gone all in onto this rocket barrage damage. He's got the talent for it. He's reduced the cooldown of his cooldown. He's got the Ag shot completed up now. Are there any decent neutral items for a magic damage gyro? I mean, he had the ceremonial robe. He's bringing out the Titan Slippers, so he wants some kind of, you know, inherent tankiness.
We see how important the choke points are at the moment as well. Just the constant radiant. Well aware that Roche is going to be up relatively shortly, so they're just making sure they continue to control the triangle in case a fight breaks out. Because if you don't have this area, then you give up Roche for free. And it looks like regardless, Roche is falling pretty low. Yeah, you're gonna have to do something here, but Radiant without a way to start, and actually the Night Stalker box sets up with yours, so kYxY has to pop the BKB pretty early. They try and steal the Aegis on top of the Ember, but he won't be successful. Now Nikko's gonna be careful as well, because Bok, a perfect chain lockdown here, gonna take the Ember out of the team fight. He's actually gonna have to try and TP back to base, but no one's died just yet on kYxY Racer. kYxY, however, the ultimate's about to expire. They continue forward. Nikko, back in he goes with the BKB. Max gonna get caught out. The arrows in the mark. He's got the Aegis, however, but they haven't been able to get on top of AlaCrity, and AlaCrity still has the BKB, so they're going to look to turn. Mac now is in trouble as well with change forward. Close the distance. Tino's going to try and jump the Arc Warden. AlaCrity, can he get himself away? However, the damage coming through for the TA is going to be a little bit too much here. No, just scores himself some distance, but Tino's still hunting. And without the blink available to close the distance, has to pop the cheese, but the chain sets up for the arrow once again. Destrice and Nikko going toe-to-toe. They're going to be able to do it successfully. Max back in as well, but he will at least find an extra on top of the Ember. Chucks out the E-plate, but the AlaCrity is going to be able to play with the Tempest double. No more you can go on top of the gyro. A triple kill get as he dies, but a Mega, they have to pop the cheese. They have to use the Aegis there as well.
I mean, you get a lot of kills. It's the cost of your cause, though, and importantly, Arc Warden still yet to die. So I mentioned before, AlaCrity, it feels a little disappointing that he's not able to play his Ember Spirit. He is putting in the work on this Arc Warden. He had a bit of a rougher time in the laning stage, but not with his positioning, that's for sure.
You see, if they don't jump AlaCrity at the start of the fight, the emphasis was coming through towards the end from TA, but that feels like exactly what they need to do. Like the Rolling Thunder at the very start we used predominantly to deal with the Ember, but there wasn't any follow-up. Looks like TA was going on a support or someone else at the start. So the Rolling Thunder was nulled out, Ember just tanked all that up, and then they didn't jump AlaCrity till a good chunk into that team fight there.
I mean, his team is doing a fantastic job of just creating space for him. Even someone like Destrice is, you know, it's unfortunate as a Mirana, you've got a decent amount of lockdown for him, but you just need to throw the body in the way. The Arc Warden is your win condition in this game.
Dire are scanning.
Actually going into the Nullifier on the Night Stalker. That'll be nice to be able to deal with all this 4-star save. Eventually, if they do look to go into any kind of, you know, defensive capabilities, you've got the Ethereal Blade as well. So if he's a little bit worried about the right-click damage that might be coming up from the Arc Warden and wants to save himself, not going to be a factor.
Dio. 343's in a pretty good spot with the Observe Ward there. So we drop the tomb on the higher gun. They melt through him innocent, but at least he got the tombstone off. They drop the Ignis on top of the backline. kYxY Racer, can they push past it though? kYxY popping the BKB, just going to result in finding Buff, but it looks like still Mac Destrice pays the price there. Unfortunately, with the mech burst heal is not enough. They get that TP as well. So it's a 1 for 2. A couple of BKBs forced out there too. It's starting to get a little bit lower here.
Able to just get himself away. That kill though is just getting closer and closer to this ticking time bomb of the level 25 on the Arc Warden. And you would think he's going to go the Tempest double duration just so it has that 100% uptime. And yeah, good luck dealing with all your lanes being shoved in. Although the fact that they've only lost two towers so far on the Dire side, pretty damn impressive. Like you would think that that mid tier 1 would be priority number 1 to go down, and it only just falls. Yeah, gonna have to deal with this double siege creep wave though. Got the keeper coming through. He's just gonna throw one blast there while he's in ultimate form and scurry back to the rest of his team. And oh, they get the double damage. Like this is everything is happening perfectly for what Omega want right now. They're calling in the Pango. Oh, no, actually they call in Tino on top of this.
Similar spot to last time, and Radiant, the reinforcements are coming over. Tino's got a DD in the bottle. If they can kite the fight away, nice Ignis in the choke point. Box going to be able to counter up as well with USF the Rolling Thunder, but he's not going to get any stun lockdown. Nikko's going to jump in forward. They haven't been able to find AlaCrity as well. Protects himself with the BKB. Now with the Scardy slow as well with the Gleipnir follow-up, they will not be able to survive this, but still we see kYxY jumping on top of the back here. So 3 down from Omega, and they got to be careful because kYxY Racer, they're pushing forward for more. We're just seeing when kYxY, I mean, going on top of 343, he's got a Ghost Scepter, he's dropping the Tombstone, and then Radiant are the ones that are getting some very important kills on the supports to start.
And so something like that nullifier for your own team is very important, or what this TA is going in the Scythe of Vice. That's totally okay as well. It's just all dependent on that instant pick-off though. I thought that time box positioning was alright, you know, he got the Rolling Thunder right in the middle of the team fight, but as soon as that Arc Warden pops the BKB, it is a pretty big deal that AlaCrity was forced to use it, especially when you're coming up against this this Magic Gyro lineup. He just stayed in there for way too long, and Arc Warden, all he did was, he's like, okay, you're rolling around while I'm in a BKB, I'm just going to right-click you to death. And yeah, he definitely paid the price for it when he had the capabilities to get out of the team fight with the shield crash over the ditch.
Another item here. Really like the itemization from Nikko. You know, hasn't been getting a lot of farm, but it feels like his net worth is still having a lot of impact. You know, he's, what is he currently? 5, 4, and 14. The Blade Mail, BKB, and the Aghanim's recognizing that his game is not really to dish out too much damage. It's to cause the chaos, make the space for the Arc Warden, keep AlaCrity alive. And we're just seeing as well, another thing is the vision game. They're constantly well, the past 2 previous fights have been down bot where Radiant had that Observe Ward control. Once again, we're going to see the vision come through. This is to jump on the Coddle. That's such an incredibly important target. If they can bring down Boomy before the Will-O-Wisp, they're going to be able to do so successfully. Now up on the high ground they go. Max should be careful. The Rolling Thunder through. Nikko with the blink back once again. Actually going to be able to bring him down here. Now looks like the Night Stalker's going to have to fly himself away. Radiant still inside the vicinity. Now they're on the enemy sides of the map here, so they've got to be careful. It's not really a choke point that they want to position. Looks like AlaCrity just has to BKB into TP out. And that's kind of what happens when you get a little bit too over antsy and you take a fight on the enemy side of the map where the Arc Warden doesn't have as much space to kind of play around. If you commit too far, then to disengage, it's very difficult.
I mean, I was about to say before that fight started when I saw that they'd picked up the BKB here on... oh, sorry, not picked up the BKB, they picked up...
A nice fight from Omega kind of minimalizes the momentum that we saw was starting to be built up here for kYxY Racer.
They did use another BKB charge though on the Arc Warden, so it's down to 7 seconds, and you've got the BKB freshly picked up on Mac here.
Hex also completed, so yeah, getting some items is dire, but we're still continuing to see this massive net worth disparison from kYxY Racer, where the Arc Warden is so far ahead, a flawless game so far from AlaCrity, but can that continue on the Arc Warden?
Even the game doesn't know what's going to be happening here. It's sitting basically dead on the 50% win rate probability.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Oh, they move out. Ooh.
Tino just assassinates. But the Hex gets so much easier. You got level 25 as well. So yeah, Meld Hit Bash, and now you're kind of extra lockdown. Ember's going to be really careful. Once it gets to this stage in the game, usually Ember throughout, you know, the early and the mid game can be pretty nice versus the TA, but now this is a hero that has an immense amount of damage and does also get some nice single target lockdown. So Ember's going to be pretty aware.
I mean, you find literally anyone right now with this TA as soon as she picks up that Swift Blink, and they're just done for. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing you can do to save yourselves. You've got the Melt Hit Bash, you've got the Scythe of Vice. It's just so much damage to be able to force out onto the enemy team, and without too much that they can do about it. We've got an Ag Scepter as well on this Roche. I wonder who's going to be picking it up here. I don't think it's too important to have the Sonic Projection. Maybe just another stun for CML here might be the go. Yeah.
CML picks it up. There we go. Nice.
Support lives matter, you know?
You gotta love it. Both supports got an Ags now. Radiant might be able to find Mac. He doesn't have the Aegis or the keys. Rapid turn behind, so Mac's not grouped up with him at the moment. Box being such an important hero through these team fights, Stuart sets up the arrow. A force off can at least give him a little bit better position now, but the Ignis is a beautiful spot. Look at him go to work, but Tino, the damage actually isn't there at the moment. Force still able to disengage them with the BKBs as well. They're trying to deal with the Tempest double. It's a 1-for-2, still continuing through the team fight. Radiant, they've been able to reset. Tino falling incredibly low. Can they deal with him? Still the Tombstone on the high ground as well. Look at this choke point fight go to work. Nikko stunned up thanks to the first Aghanim's picked up here. Let's see if he's going to be able to disengage with the remnant back off the high ground. However, they found the real AlaCrity. He's in trouble, gets a force stun down, pops the BKB. Tino wants to stand his ground, protecting the bubble, but the back line with the Vivox. Nikko in he goes straight on top of the Templar assassin. The BKB's about to fly, so team's going to be careful. Look at the sky, it's just completely hiding. Blue force up back in. AlaCrity is directly on top of the Max, just shredding them apart. The damage, this rocket barrage.
That's a dieback.
Goes to work. Ember down for 120. kYxY forcing an immense amount of buybacks. Warden's got one, but you're gonna have to defend your high ground key. Max wants more blood as well. Look at him go. This magic damage built on the Gyro, level 28. But has he gone a little bit too far here? He's got to be careful. AlaCrity is able to siege on top of the back. You can't dive underneath the T4 towers. A beautiful defensive Will-O-Wisp, but isn't enough. Still the Scarlet story. Mac just alive, but they find him. Gyro pays the price. You can't go that deep.
Oh, that 4-star, if it was by Boomy, they were trying to assume that he was just going to turn around and just book it out of there, but turns back for a split second to get off the homing missile and actually ends up forcing him further into the Radiant base. So some unfortunate misplays coming through there, but man, that's the first death on this Warden. If it bleeds, it can die.
We've seen it happen. Unfortunately, maybe Boomy might die here.
No,
blinding light.
Oh, no.
Spark Wraith.
Not the spark.
No, he juked it. AlaCrity.
Run away.
2 seconds.
No,
1 second. No, we should. Heart attack. Jesus, don't want to be doing that.
Well, you have to be feeling pretty good on a regular esports side. I mean, the net worth is just continuing to crawl in their favor. I feel like it was only a couple of minutes ago that it was sitting at 10k. Now it's 25. Big part of that has to go to the dieback coming through there on the Ember Spirit, which means that even this Pangolier is ahead now on net worth. Oh, and I'm kind of liking this, going into the Abyssal Blade. So not just for, of course, being able to pick people off, it's a BKB Pierce as well, really nice. It means that you can kite out somewhat these Ghost Scepters that are being used, even though, you know, maybe the Nullifier is still a really good item for them to be picking up here. But even on top of that, it's just about the mobility, right? You just need to be able to get out of some of these silences so that you can get your ultimate off and actually have that big impact. I mean,
yeah, we've seen
Cloak. I haven't seen him use it yet, though.
Interesting. At least the evasion and magic resistance, and just making sure, like you said, it's so important to get that Rolling Thunder off. Like, we've seen the impact of how much chaos it can create in these fights, and for Radiant though, I don't think they can leave this high ground. You either need to protect your wards, sit on around there, or just sit up on your high ground inside the base. One or the other. You have because you need to really be able to protect AlaCrity. But even then, like, Dire have very, very good choke point fighting as well. Like, you drop the Ignis, you drop the cooldown, you've got the Rolling Thunder from the Pango. So it just... Radiant, they need to make sure they get set up in a fight and use their vision advantage, so it's very difficult for Dire to be able to find exactly where the Arc Warden is, and that's then going to enable them to find the key target.
I wonder what's going to be the next, you know, few big things to come out. We're seeing a lot of these upgraded blink daggers this game. The Arcane Blink is what's next on the menu for Max Gyro. I understand it, you know, a little bit more of that mobility. I'm not sure what he drops though to be able to use it.
Do you get rid of the Eternal Shroud if you got a BKB?
Ugh, such a good item.
Yeah, like I don't know, yeah. Man, AlaCrity starting, it might be able to get a kill, yeah, he will. That's a dieback, I think, on Ogre. Might even be able to find Boomy. If he gets another support kill, yeah, Boomy, this Spark Wraith should be able to find the connection. He gets a double, and that's a gem dropped. See the tips coming out. AlaCrity doing a lot of work right now. That nice little neutral item with the leveler.
I'm gonna need one of these couriers to go out and try and fetch this gem. And what is a cheese doing in the base? Why has a cheese not been used in that previous team fight? Well,
alright, Box got the gem. Nice.
Sure.
They're coming out the base though. Those are two nice pickoffs to at least be able to get some deep vision down, it looks like. 343's got a ward. They even have their own gem as well in the Mirana.
Radiant are scanning.
Regeneration.
Tino. Uh-oh, on the low ground. Tino, they're going to jump instantly now. Pops the BKB. He's going to be able to get it under and try and disengage. His AOK. Mac, though, reveals himself as well. BKB from Mac.
Middle tower is under attack.
So the in and the out. Maybe they get a tier 2 tower. They're not even going to try and do that.
Gonna be able to deal with the Tempest double nicely. I think it's not quite as big of a deal now that he's level 25 and he has the reduced cooldown on the Dark Ascension, but I think he probably could have gotten away with not having to pop that to try and take down this TA. As soon as that Nullifier connected onto her, she was scared.
The tombs dropped instantly, gonna jump the background here. They know the BKB's not available here. Templar Assassin's just gonna get melted, has a buyback, but a Mac on the front line as well. BKB, TP out. But just to poke and prod enabled them before. Now Box gotta be careful as well. He's actually gonna get caught with the jump. AlaCrity holds him in with Gleep there, and Nikko's got the follow-up. So when Mega Esports, those pickoffs on the supports enables kYxY to poke and prod that BKB from TA.
It's a
Then
man
they
dash
get
with the
two
couriers
big
to
kills.
the gem as well. All three. They finally do pick it up. Bit of a race going on there, but who ended up winning it?
Dire's middle tower.
Was it the
has
squid?
fallen.
I feel like it was the squid. Or the... Oh, that 7-leg spider. I hate it.
Oh, not another support. At least CML's got the flicker now. Might be a little bit nice to get away from this aggressive Tempest double. Still continuing to feed a lot of gold away. This is a thing we've seen so far in this game.
Double damage. Bottom side.
Uh-oh.
He ends up picking it up on Nikko. Sure. But you can just see with his item build going into the refresher next. He just wants to be able to have that secondary charge of the BKB so he can just be on the front lines. Like now, you've got a much higher right-click threat on the Night Stalker. Yeah, you've got the Dark Ascension instead of the Hunter and the Night attack speed, but when you've got Nullifier and Solar Crest, it doesn't really matter.
Looks like he's also building into the overwhelming blink, something that we don't really see too often.
I think it's totally cool on a Night Stalker. You know, if you can, it's a couple of things. Either A, they're stuck within your crippling fear and they're silenced for 7 seconds, or they're forced to pop a super early BKB, which isn't
Dire's
ideal at
top
this
tower
late game
is
as
under
well.
attack.
Pretty long Roshan respawn time though, so kYxY, so things not going in their favor in that regard. I think we've got an Abyssal. They've got the money for the Abyssal on the Pangolier just yet, but they're stuck between two mines. Do they want to try and contest, or does he want to save for buyback?
And Radiant at least have been able to stall this long enough for their buybacks to come up pretty shortly. You know, Arc Wardens is down still them over the Night Stalker, another 30 seconds. They're all of theirs for Radiants that are down are going to be up in the next 40, so you know, they've got enough gold as well. So they've stalled this game out long enough where Dire kind of had a win condition with the buybacks being on cooldown. I mean, Dire definitely, I should say, still in the lead.
They're committing. They've got the full... It's actually into a Mirana ultimate though. Got Boomy here, kind of on his own on the bottom side. He's not going to be punished for it, you would think. Ready to recall in the TA whenever he needs, but TA is actually just going to stick pretty close by.
A little something
Just
extra.
putting up this observer ward, so they've got a little bit of understanding. Any gems right now on the Radiant side? It's just on the Mirana, and Destrice wasn't quite in range to be able to see that one.
Double damage empowers me.
All about Roche. That's what it is. Fourth one, Aghanims. We're going to see the shard as well with the refresher. A big fight going to break out. Max still very far in the front line as well. Dodges out the arrow, has to pop the BKB early, but now with the chains actually, Nikko cancels the Rolling Thunder box, able to get rid of it with the Lotus Orb, but now they're going to try and jump away. kYxY trying to disrupt them. They're on top of the Coddle. It's a beautiful target that can bring him down. Nikko's even got the DD as well. No buyback available here for the Coddle, but now, oh, look at the multicast coming through. Night Stalker, Invisible box, able to close the distance, so it's a 1 for 2. Undying buys back there. Night Stalker's got his own as well, holding it at the moment, but guess who's back up? Roshan, the fourth one of the game.
Well, guess who's back in the house, that's for sure. They just checked it with the Pangolier, but, you know, that's how fickle Roshan can be. He can just pop up whenever you don't expect him. You got level 30 now on the Gyrocopter as well, so that extra homing missile stun going to coordinate nicely together with the homing missile charges. And, well, that's all scouted out for sure. And even more movement speed.
Alright, who gets what?
Pango picked up, he's got 2 cheeses now.
He's got the Ags as well, it looks like.
Yep.
Okay. That's nice with the Abyssal Blade. What talent did he go? Yeah, he went the Rolling Thunder duration instead of the Shield Crash. Okay.
Yep.
So we got the Ages on Tino. He's also holding the Refresher Shard as well. I wonder if they just give that over to the Coddle. Or if they want potentially double BKB, double Meld, double Hex. Let's see.
I'm going to be watching Mac in these fights because he's just picked up a Refresher Shard, and Refresher Orb, and he still has 6,000 gold on top of that. So he is a very rich boy. It is kind of like these team fights have been pretty friggin' hectic. Let's be real. So are you going to be able to get off your full complement of spells and your refresher, you know, move it into your inventory, wait the 6 seconds, be able to get it off again? It feels like they've got some pretty good burst potential on Galaxy Racer's side if they're able to get their positioning right.
Yep. Yeah, it feels like, though, again, I'm still just worried that, look at the rest of the cores, like even Ogre's farm is through the roof. It helps that he got that Aghanims earlier from the Roche, but like the Coddle as well, so all the supports on Dire just have so much net worth, and their impact is kind of showing right now over the supports. But I will say, like, if you jump the Undying wherein he already gets Tombstone up, and now he's got also the level 20, so Undying late game can be a little bit scary with these Tombstones.
I mean, 25 is just so annoying on an Undying as well, you know? What are you, Wraith King?
It's Mirana going for a Stalker, so yeah, just buffing up AlaCrity. That's all the damage right now, pretty much. So do whatever you can to be some farm, and wonder what he wants to go for as well. What do you think the next item could be for the Arc Wardians? You already got that Moon Shard, no Ags, Blessing or Shard.
I mean, I feel like the Shard is very useful. A, it doesn't take up an item slot, and B, just being able to provide that magic resistance against a Gyrocopter and a Keeper of the Light, pretty effective.
Well, maybe this game can go long enough until we get 60 minutes. That's going to be our first tier 5 of the tournament, at least from us casting.
And we've got the Gyro just popping the Eternal Shroud into the backpack right now, so prioritizing the Refresher. As he finished up his Abyssal Blade just yet, he bought the Boots of Travel increased recipe, so he just wants to be able to TP to heroes. So it's not enough that you've got a Coddle that can recall you anywhere on a 15-second cooldown. Now you're just able to TP right onto heroes. Is he even just going to sell this Eternal Shroud? He sold something else. I didn't see what it was.
Yeah, I didn't see what it was either.
Oh, was the...
Did he buy a bottle?
Wait.
He didn't. He just bought a bottle. He definitely did not have that in the inventory.
Yes, but the E-Blade was gone and then it came back.
Honestly.
I don't know. You can't buy any bleed back from the base.
Yeah.
Anyway, so maybe he just drops it and we didn't see it.
Well, it's very important though at this stage in the game when you are the team ahead, when you have this opportunity to be able to take the power runes across the map. I mean, we've seen what a TA double damage rune can do. So if you at least have that control, maybe you get a nice little rune factor that can play off pretty big, even like an arcane for an example for like a gyro. That'd be nice.
Precious bounty.
Warden's very close to that level 30, well 29, pretty much just hit the 29. So the second highest in the game, so once he's able to hit that 30, extra range, cooldown reduction could be pretty nice, even the life steal.
It just goes to show the strength of this Warden when, you know, you've got a team that's 40k net worth ahead, all outer towers taken, and you feel you cannot push into this high ground. They've got Aegis, they've got 2 cheeses. It's ridiculous.
Ah yes, Warden.
I mean, what are they waiting for, realistically? Like, 60 minute, it has to be the tier 5 items, considering they've been able to somewhat choke them out of the base. I say that as a full-on smoke happens. So they're trying to make an aggressive movement happen during this nighttime for kYxY, and before that 60-minute mark does come up.
They know Age is about to tick out as well. They've got the timer, 5 seconds until it does. But Dire, they're coming through top as well, AlaCrity. If you lose the Tempest double at the start, could be a bit worrisome. They drop the ward down. They want to take the fight though. kYxY is going to blink it back, but a nice disengage from Boomy. Now he's got to be careful. He doesn't even pop the BKB as well. Looks like he's just going to have to probably force a buyback if a massive team fight continues to break out.
I don't know about that one. You had 2 heroes go the exact opposite way. The Undying got out of dodge. Night Stalker went forward, and I mean, yeah, forcing a buyback, pretty big deal. You've still got 30 seconds left until that Dark Ascension is available again, so we're a little bit concerned.
As long as they can deal with the base though, Warden's such an incredible hero to be able to defend. Well, it looks like they're not going to go up, so yeah, they lose that advantage they had with the extra life, and maybe Night Stalker is going to be able to hold this buyback. They're just resetting, very close to these extra neutral items getting picked up.
And the name of the game is changing a little bit for Omega. They're like, all right, Coddle, you've got buyback, you're on split pushing duty.
Oh, he's got that 25 talent as well, the blinding light stun.
Really nice to have. Doesn't have the synergy with the blinding light cooldown. Of course, cast range is effective all the time, so it makes a lot more sense to be able to go that at level 15.
TML is 25, he's got that 5 loss damage. Man, this Ogre could be an issue. Like, you've got the Aghanims, even the Fire Shield as well. Some nice protection. You know, we see this stun lock. I mean, it's, you know, could be pretty devastating, especially with that extra damage from the talent now.
I just want to see the multicast Fire Shield go off, you know?
What's the cooldown on it? 16, okay.
Alright, it's got to be just... What's the ward situation like right now? Like, I feel like the map is just completely dark on both sides.
Oh yeah.
So, I guess they've got a couple of wards that they've just placed up, but... Yeah, for Radiant, they are living on their own little island here. This is like Attack on Titan, and the wall is the base, the high ground.
Well, Radiant, they're going out. They know that the outpost is going to be available to claim relatively shortly. The only issue is that you don't have any wards outside the base, and Dire are completely aware of their positioning right now. And now back in the base you go. So that's the issue with placing a ward in such a common spot like that. It's more than likely it's going to reveal the smoke, and well, now you can't just stand your ground. And they use that smoke now where you can't contest the outpost, it feels like. And I thought they'd either use the smoke for the outpost or for the tier 5s just to get outside the base. Okay, well, kYxY once again. This time we'll find Boomy before the blink. The force of no. Boomy is actually stuck on the high ground keys. They've got the nullify as well. Needs to get the ward wizard off. Now out with misplay block as well. Still, Cole pays the price. They're in top of them, however. Where's AlaCrity? They haven't been able to find the arc water on the top of the backline. Ember gets brought down with the chain lockdown from the Templar assassin. 2 falls. They do have buyback, but Max in trouble. AlaCrity's actually going to blink up the high ground. Look at him go with the blink. Just so much damage, just first blink with the axe. It's too much for them to deal with. They get the multicast across there with the BKB. Finds Tino. Wants to try and bring him down. He's going to be unsuccessful. Now with the will finally blocked. Tino just doing so much damage. This Swift Blink. Oh, it's too much for them to deal with. But the Chains Force gets out of the arrow. Tino still protected with a whiz. And they're going to be careful because they just bought back there. This melt hit bash, but they deal with him. He doesn't have that extra life. Box able to rejoin them as well. Stormcrafter needs to try and get away. Blink forward. Abyssal Blade. Nikko has one more remnant, but Radiant back inside. They go scurrying in. A lot of buybacks forced out, but you just see, man, the Swift Blades from both teams, the Arc Warden, did so much damage, but the importance of killing the Coddle. They got Boomy at the start, but dropping that Will-O-Wisp on the buyback when the TA could just go to work.
This is a big deal, though. You got the buyback out of AlaCrity. A win condition has been enabled. Oh, we're going to see a big boy with that Giant's Ring.
What the heck? So I haven't seen T5 with this new change as well. So there's a couple of experiments with the items, but have not seen them in action. And even, oh my god, TA's got the upgraded death, so stupid. What's happening right now? It's just AlaCrity's status double.
I feel like they have to make a play for some of these neutral items, you know?
Yep.
It's the only way you're going to stand a chance, especially now that the... getting a little ballsy here with AlaCrity.
Yeah, AlaCrity, jeez. Can the Templar double pick up neutral items?
I don't believe so.
Oh, AlaCrity? Yeah. Scaring me a little bit. Well, they know TA's down.
There's no damage to be able to pick him off, although they're kind of thinking about it. They call him in. And so that's the double going to be on down. Is there anyone that didn't buy back on Radiant's side? Undying. Cool. He's not one that can really easily take some of these neutral items. Maybe it's going to be up to the Mirana, you know? Destrice, he's got buyback in 10 gold. Maybe a Moonlight Shadow out onto the dire side of the map, start to farm up. It just feels so important, you know? You're going to be able to quickly take out some of these camps, even the small camps, you know?
What's this, 5th Roche of the game or some shit?
Yes it is.
So who gets the eggs? Who gets a refresher? Who doesn't have it? Mac doesn't. Brock does. Tino doesn't as well.
I mean,
alright, so they keep...
yeah. Extra movement, I guess, is never a bad thing.
Oh, get the ancient stack while they're roaching.
Ooh, I mean, they've got the trap there though underneath the stack. So if they were to make any sort of attempt, they would know exactly what's going on. 60k net worth lead, by the way, with still a 13% chance Dota Plus is giving them. That is very generous, I would say. They're going right on in.
Jumping. They want to take the fight. Nice tombstone up on the high, but the Ember's just going to get melted. It doesn't have a buyback here. Buck once again in the choke point with the Rolling Thunder. Oh, going outside the base to take a fight there, and now it's all up to Arc Warden without the Ember. Boomy, gotta be careful. 3 arrows gonna fly. They have to drop the Will-O-Wisp very defensively here.
I just can't understand why you would ever leave your base. Like, sure, if you're taking a neutral item attempt, just so that you're not horribly under-geared relative to what the enemy team has.
What the hell? This
is a big
gigantic. Look at it.
Battle Cruiser operational.
Just rips him. Gee, this dude's gigantic.
That's what you love to see. You love to see the blood. He wasn't even bloodlusted. Give him the bloodlust, give him the BKB, give him the Giant's Ring.
He pops refresher. So the orb still has the shard. He actually looks like a Zeppelin when he's that big. When he pops the giant ring, got bloodlust, BKB, he's going to be gigantic. At least there's still a lot of racks available, mid and bot, so they're probably just going to have to give up top here. See, AlaCrity's trying to deal with the other lanes.
I'm going to need to see the bloodlust on this Gyro just for the meat potential, CML.
Buck, who they found down to the southern side here. Boom's going to get bored with the TP and Tino. They're straight on top of AlaCrity with the lap still in that. Warden's down. That's it. We just see time and time again this game that Boomy's Coddle was so goddamn important. I don't care about his KDA 1 and 28. The fact of these TPs from this Coddle, that is why we're seeing this hero so much through all the regions, and it just enabled Omega so